Let's face it, budgeting can feel like a chore. But what if I told you there's a simple formula to manage your money without all the stress? It's called the 50-30-20 rule, and it's designed to keep your finances on track while still leaving room for fun. Before we dive in, remember, this isn't a strict rule. Think of it as a flexible guideline that you can adjust and customize based on your financial situation and goals. The 50-30-20 rule divides your income after taxes into three main categories: 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings or debt. The needs category covers essentials required for survival, along with crucial obligations. This includes rent, groceries, utilities, transportation, and insurance. The wants category is your fun money for things that aren't essential but make life enjoyable. This could include things such as shopping for fun, attending music or sporting events, going on vacations, or other things you want to purchase. Finally, the savings and debt category should be dedicated to emergencies and investments. Ideally, this money goes towards paying off debt, building an emergency fund, investing in a retirement account, or saving for assets like a property. The idea here is to give you a basic framework for better money management without feeling too restricted. But remember, this is just a starting point. If your circumstances require more flexibility, that's totally okay. We'll discuss how to adjust this framework later on. But first, let's consider an example of how an ideal scenario might look like in a perfect world. Meet Jane, a marketing coordinator living in Indianapolis, Indiana. She rents a cozy one-bedroom apartment and follows the 50-30-20 rule to manage her $55,000 after-tax yearly income, which translates to about $4,600 per month. Let's see how Jane uses this rule to manage her budget. 50% of her income goes to needs, or about $2,300 per month. This consists of things such as rent, utilities, groceries, health insurance, car-related expenses, and other bills such as phone and internet. 30% of her income goes to wants, or about $1,380 per month. This consists of things such as dining out, shopping for clothes and gadgets, saving for an annual vacation, and other things such as streaming services, gym membership, and things for her hobby. The remaining 20% goes to savings and debt, which is about $920 per month. This consists of retirement fund contribution, $400, emergency fund, $200, and saving for future home down payment, $320 per month. Now note, Jane's rent and expenses are relatively affordable compared to those in big cities. However, this scenario might not be realistic for everyone, so let's discuss some potential challenges of using this 50-30-20 rule. The first big challenge is high living costs, especially rent. In cities like New York or San Francisco, rent alone can be 50% or more of your income, making it nearly impossible to follow this traditional split. In these situations, it's crucial to find a balance that works for you. You might need to reduce your spending on wants or even save less temporarily until your financial situation improves. Another common issue is irregular income. If you're a freelancer or work in a job where your pay fluctuates, maintaining the same budget structure every month can be tough. One solution is to base your budget on your average income over several months, or create a more flexible budget that adjusts according to your highest and lowest earning months. Also, remember that not all debt is created equal. If you have high interest debt like credit card balances, it might be wise to allocate more than 20% of your income towards paying it off as quickly as possible. Lastly, it's essential to recognize life happens. Unexpected expenses, job loss, or even just a challenging month can throw your budget off track. That's why having an emergency fund, one of the key components in the savings portion of the rule, is critical. Start small, but aim for 3 to 6 months worth of expenses over time. Now that we've covered the basics and challenges of the 50-30-20 rule, let's talk about how you can adapt it to suit your specific financial goals. Let's cover 3 different scenarios. First, for individuals with aggressive savings goals, like saving for a down payment on a house or fast-tracking financial independence, A more ambitious budget might look like 50-20-30 or even 40-30-30. The idea here is to reduce the budget for wants to allocate more towards savings or investments. A 40-30-30 split can also be a strong choice for high-income earners looking to build wealth more quickly. Next, for those needing to cover high living costs, such as individuals living in expensive urban areas, or anyone with low disposable income, the budgeting might lean towards something like this: 70-15-15, or even 80-10-10. Now note, this variation works well if your priority is simply to keep your head above water, while still putting a little money away each month. While this may not be sustainable for long term for aggressive financial goals, it's a realistic option for those dealing with tight budgets or high fixed costs. Lastly, and most importantly, the 50-50-0 trap. This is where the rules can go off the rails. A split like 50-50-0, where half of your income goes to needs and the other half goes to wants and zero to savings, is an example of a budget that could lead to long-term financial trouble. While it's tempting to dedicate a large portion of your income to wants, especially if you're feeling financially stressed, it can leave you with no safety net for emergencies, no long-term savings, and no path toward retirement. Without some form of savings or investing, you could find yourself stuck in a cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. A good rule of thumb is to attempt to always allocate at least 10% towards savings, even in tough times when applicable. One great way to use this framework is to customize it based on your life stage. For example, if you're early into your career and have no dependents, at this stage you might have more flexibility to spend on things such as traveling and hobbies, potentially following a 40-30-30 split. On the other hand, if you have a mortgage or children, your needs budget is likely to increase, which may require something like 60-20-20. This leaves less room for discretionary spending, but it still allows for savings. On the other hand, if you're planning for retirement or approaching that time, something like 50-15-35, where 35% of your savings is dedicated to retirement investments, might be a good idea. In summary, adapting this framework depends on your personal circumstances and financial goals. The key takeaway is to ensure that a portion of your budget is consistently allocated towards savings or debt payments, no matter how small. Before we wrap up, here are some bonus tips to help you maximize the benefits of this framework. First, track your spending. Start by keeping a detailed record of your expenses. Knowing where every dollar goes helps you stay on track with your goals. You can use budgeting apps or create a simple Microsoft Excel spreadsheet for this purpose. Analyze your current spending. Review your spending over a few past periods to see how it aligns with your current framework. This analysis will help you identify areas for improvements. Next, understand your income and major expenses. Remember that your after-tax income is different from your gross income. Key expenses like rent and groceries are necessary and often represent the largest portion of your budget, so account for these carefully. Another good tip is to automate savings. If you're someone who has trouble allocating funds for savings, set up an automated transfer from your checking account to your savings accounts or investment accounts. This ensures consistency and helps you prioritize saving without having to think about it. Next, adjust for life changes. Significant events like a raise, a new job, or a move to a different area can impact your budget. Review and adjust your budget periodically to reflect these changes. Prioritize high-interest debt. If you have high-interest debt, focus on paying that off first within your savings category. Once you have tackled that, shift your focus to building an emergency fund and then planning for retirement. And lastly, stay consistent. Consistency is key. If you frequently stray from your set goals, it will be challenging to make the progress in the long run. Make a commitment to stick to your budget as closely as possible. So there you have it, the 50-30-20 rule in all its flexibility. Whether you're a new graduate just starting out or someone with ambitious financial goals, this simple guideline can be a fantastic starting point for managing your money. You can adapt it based on your goals, income, and even the unexpected surprises life throws your way. By customizing the rule to fit your needs and maintaining a focus on saving, you'll be in a stronger position to achieve your financial objectives, whether that's paying off debt, saving for a significant purchase, or building a long-term wealth. If you found this video helpful or have any questions, feel free to drop a comment. And remember, keep investing in yourself and have a fantastic day.